Hey everybody, welcome to the video. It's YouTube Skills and this is Skills Reacts, and we're going to be reacting to some crazy TikToks and crazy conspiracy theories that people are uploading today. And if you like this channel and enjoy content like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and with that said, let's jump into the video.
An EMP threat. What's the probability of that happening?
So an EMP, it can be the end goal. You can't create it like in a movie where it's like a little electrical battery that just sends out a pulse. It has to be something of a larger explosive. EMPs are also the natural byproduct in a nuclear detonation. Most people, when they think...
So for those of you guys that don't know what an EMP is like an electromagnetic burst of energy, right? So basically it can take out like power, it could take out electricity, it could take out different things like that. So, and one big enough can make blackout like pretty much all whole countries and different things like that.
Think of a nuclear bomb. They think of a nuclear bomb that comes and is delivered by a rocket, hits the earth, and then explodes, creates a mushroom cloud and a fireball. What they don't realize is that a nuclear warhead can be detonated at any altitude. A large warhead at a high altitude, you would have a huge EMP. Anything that's got a smart chip, modern day cars, cell phones would be neutralized. Your old school Chevelle should still be good to go, but your Tesla would not go anywhere. It'd be a brick. The more likely way that we would see anything like this happen is we would first see a cyber attack that would neutralize our ability to identify the incoming weapon that would discharge the EMP.
Yeah. Do you think that this is a realistic scenario?
I personally think it is a highly realistic threat. Something that has probably been thought of for years and years and years to come. So it's just crazy, something to think about. You guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments.
If a nuclear EMP were to be detonated above the United States, within 10 seconds, the power grid would overload and fail. Communication would immediately go dark. That's cell towers, internet routers, and your phone. Within the first few minutes, vehicles would malfunction, emergency services would fail, panic and confusion would set in, and backup generators may turn on, hopefully. Within the first 30 minutes, authorities will try to reach out to the public on remaining functioning communication systems. Panic buying would hit grocery stores, gas stations, pharmacies. In the first 12 hours, hospitals would be overrun. Police and military would attempt crowd control. Within the first day, the water and sewage systems will begin to fail.
That's just the first day. You know how many people would die the first week?
With no electricity, there's no food, there's no water, there's no heat.
Right, there's no grid.
No cooling. You know, and so I think that alone, I mean, what are they, it's estimated, what, you have 3 days. If something like that were to happen before everything comes unglued and it becomes every man for himself. So really they wouldn't have to take the military out, because the civilian population would just basically eat itself alive.
There's the X factor that we're not considering is what happens when there's an attack. Ukraine is a fantastic real-world example of this right now. President Zelensky's approval rating on February 21st, 2022 was 30%. 30%. President Zelensky's approval rating on February 22nd, 2023 was 90%. Now, why am I saying that? Did the guy suddenly become an amazing president in 1 year?
No.
He's the same guy, right? That 90% approval rating came from a mix of gung-ho, hyper-nationalistic Ukrainians who are still in the country, because remember, they've had tens of millions of refugees leave the country. Plus, only a fraction of those gung-ho people can even get to a computer to take a survey. So it's a small sample size of a limited population that all answer 90% approval rating, right? But the thing that demonstrates is that when there's a common aggressor, everything changes. You and I are sitting here talking about the potential negative impact of woke culture. As soon as somebody pulls a gun on any of us, on you, me, or some person who self-identifies as they or them, we've got a common enemy. All of a sudden, we don't care about their pronouns. We care about the enemy. So if somebody were to attack the United States, we wouldn't eat ourselves from within. We'd sit there, we'd probably lock arms, pick up weapons and fight the enemy. That's what we did after 9/11. I know
Yep.
you remember what 9/11 was
I
like.
definitely remember that.
That is
was
true.
A different time.
And most
It wasn't
Americans are
5
armed
years
and ready to
divided as
fight.
We are today.
We weren't, but some of
Or-
the most contentious activity we saw was coming from the Gore and Bush elections just prior to that.
Yeah.
Gee,
I don't know. I
she's so
wanna believe that, I
right.
really do.
She's so right.
Are you filming?
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Let's
Are you
see.
filming?
Who are you first?
Who are you first?
No. How are you?
I'm sorry, you're in my building. Who are you?
I'm in your building.
This is the town of Orangetown's building?
This is yours?
This is the town of Orangetown's building. I work here.
Oh, okay. This is not your building. You don't own it, right?
I'm sorry, are you filming here?
You don't own the building. The people own the building, ma'am. This is a public building.
And
Respectfully.
do you have a permit to film here?
Do I have a permit?
Yeah.
I do not have a permit, no.
Okay, so in order to film in this building, you need a permit.
That's not true. That's not true.
Oh,
Who are
really?
you? Yeah, really. Who are you? So I know who I spoke with?
I want to know how come you think you don't need a permit.
Is your name on your shirt? I can't really see. You work for the
Please shut
supervisor's
this down
office?
because you're not allowed to film here without a permit.
Ma'am, why are you becoming so hostile? How you doing, sir? How you doing?
What's going on today?
Nothing, just filming.
He doesn't have a permit.
I don't need a permit.
I'm going to ask you to leave.
I'd like that shut off,
This
so
is-
I don't want
Thanks. It's
anything
this
on
way.
it.
You can turn it off, or I can take it from you.
Don't touch me. If you are you ordering me to leave?
I'm ordering you to leave.
But I want that
okay.
filming, whatever's on his
Turn it
phone
off.
shut off. I want
Don't.
it-
I'm walking out.
Turn it off.
This is not against the law. This is a constitutionally protected activity.
Turn it
I'm
off.
trying to. You're trying.
Turn off the phone.
I am trying to walk past you to
Turn off
leave.
the phone.
I want to make it clear. I'm trying to walk past you to leave because you're going to need some complaints.
Turn off the
Don't
phone.
touch my phone.
Turn it off.
Don't I have a body camera on too. Don't touch my phone.
Turn
What are you
it off.
guys doing?
You
This is
know-
against the law.
Give me your license.
This is against the law.
License.
This is against the law, sir.
On your ID.
This is what crime have I committed?
I can ask you for your ID. You're
And
in a government
you can
facility.
ask me for
Where's
my ID
your
and I can decline.
Where's your ID?
I'm going to decline to give you my ID. It's my right.
Oh, you are? You
It's
can't
my
be in a
right.
government facility.
Do you have reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime, sir?
You don't have a permit to
You
film
are-
in this
That's
building.
not a
government
crime.
facility.
That doesn't mean this is a public building. Go get your supervisor, please. I'm asking for your supervisor.
I'm going to wait right here.
I'm sure your policy states that if I ask for your supervisor, you have to get me one. So can you get me a supervisor? Because you're going to make a big mistake here.
What's my mistake?
Your mistake is you're violating my rights.
I'm not violating your
And I'm going to
rights.
hold you
You're in a-
accountable.
You are in a government building.
You just grab. That doesn't matter. This is a public
You're not allowed
building.
to film.
Yes, I am. This is a public building. I'm a journalist. I have freedom of
Like I
press.
said, you want a supervisor?
Yes, I want your supervisor.
Come down to the police department side and we'll bring our supervisor.
Great. Tell him not to touch me. Don't touch me again. You touch my camera.
You need to turn it off.
No, I don't.
You need a permit to film in this
No,
building.
I do not.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
do.
do.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
Is that a law?
No, it's town ordinance.
It's not a law.
It's the town code.
It's not a law. Where's
You
the
wanna go
code?
go get the town attorney?
Go get him. I'm sure he'll educate you, ma'am. If he's
I'm
good at what
sorry.
his job, I'm sure he'll
Are you trying
educate
to
you.
insult me?
No, I'm
You
not
just
trying
said
to
I need
insult
be
you.
educated.
Yeah, because you obviously don't know freedom of press.
I issue the permits in this building and the town of Orangetown.
You
for
obviously don't
filming.
understand I
know
have a right to freedom of press, ma'am.
You do not have the right to film in this
I
building.
do. This is a
Did
public
you pay
building.
$5,000 and
This
I
is
issue a permit?
you're talking about for commercial film. Again, you need education. Go get the town attorney, please. You're talking about commercial filming, ma'am.
I'm not going to have you dismiss me like I'm some peon. Okay?
Ma'am, you've been treating me bad. You've
No,
grabbed my
you're-
camera.
you're-
Please get me a
why-
supervisor, sir.
So come with me to this side and we'll get a supervisor.
Please get me a
This is
supervisor.
the town hall side. Come with me to the police department side. We'll get a supervisor.
Don't touch me ever again. Please excuse me. Get out of my way. Thank you.
Cutting healthcare benefits for poor people, for seniors.
No, they're not.
One bad
Why are they
thing
lying like this? Why are they letting people lie like this?
after the next. He's firing veterans. I'm a veteran, so I have a really hard time driving around.
Firing people that are being fraud and conspiring against the country.
On this thing, so I think it's time for an upgrade today. So this is going to be my last trip in this car. There were some things I really liked about it.
Give it to
things
me.
I didn't
I'll
like
buy it.
about it, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, doing the right thing. I think it's time to get rid of it. Elon Musk kind of turned out to be an asshole, and
How?
I don't want to be driving the car
Oh.
built and designed by an asshole. So, looking forward to my new ride.
This guy ain't make no point on why
Have your ID
he
on you?
feels that way.
I do. I just don't give in unless I've broken the law, sir.
Okay, well, due to the circumstances that's occurring, I have to make sure that I identify those whom which I'm speaking to, because in the event, let's say, God forbid, you happen to be someone who happens to have a felony warrant against you or something like that, I need to be able to go ahead and do what I would have to in the aspect of my job, which would be affecting the arrest if you do happen to have a warrant. But the best way to completely rule that out, to avoid any type of miscommunications or anything of the sort, I would just have to easily just get your name, date of birth, that's it. Or you can just give me your ID, I can read off the sound decks, and I can literally give it right back to you. Everything's done, it's taken care of.
Yeah. So my one issue with that is that I haven't broken the law, so unless I've broken the law, I don't hand over any identifying information. And if you believe that you have a right to do that, I would only politely ask, Trooper, that we call a supervisor to the scene, so that way we can clarify your authority in demanding ID from a law-abiding citizen who's not breaking any laws.
Well, I've already explained to you what the policy is for us in reference to my job.
I understand your policy must,
your contact with someone.
I'm sure your policy does state that you should identify people that you make contact with, but your policy doesn't trump my rights or the law. Respectfully, sir. Respectfully, Trooper, it doesn't trump the law. I don't have to identify myself to you because I have not broken any laws. You said I'm not breaking any laws yourself, so that means I do not have to identify myself to you, and I am not going to.
Okay. So my question at this point would be, what is the significance of you standing outside with a camera and video recording people?
Oh yeah, I'm standing outside with a camera. I'm video recording the facility here, in and out of the facility, the public facility here.
You didn't tell me the reason why.
Oh, the reason why.
What you were doing,
yeah.
You didn't tell me why.
Okay, the reason why is that I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story on the NVA here.
What is the story that you're working on? Like, what is the context of the story?
Oh, I can't get into that. I can't divulge the information, any specifics, because it might compromise my story.
Okay, so.
But I will tell you that I'm an independent journalist, and you identified yourself. I will tell you my name is Sean.
Identify you as a journalist because
no,
you're
there's
saying that
no
you're
way.
a journalist, but think of it like this: if I were to tell someone I am a clown, on my time off, I'm a clown.
Yep.
I work for blah blah blah. Okay, do you have a business card? Do you happen to have a company in which you can work to that we can go ahead and make a phone call to verify that you are this person?
Yeah.
See where the issue comes into play. Hence the reason why I asked you previously for your information, because it would be easier for me to be able to disclose. Exactly
so my ID would not, giving you my ID would not.
Your ID would allow
would not tell me. Would not tell you that I'm an independent journalist.
No. You're not. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your ID would allow me to identify who you are in the aspect of who are you.
Yeah.
It's not going to identify your job.
My name's Sean.
But, okay, Sean.
Yeah, my name's Sean.
Okay, no problem.
You identified yourself, so I'll identify. My name is Sean.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate that, Sean. I appreciate that.
No problem.
S-E-A-N?
S-E-A-N, yeah.
Okay. Last name?
It's just Sean.
Just Sean?
It's just Sean.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Easy day, man.
Yeah,
Easy day.
just Sean.
So with that being said, like I said, it would make it easier for me to be able to identify you.
Yeah.
So bare minimum, because if you're telling me again that you are a journalist, okay, do you have any credentials with you? Do you have?
You should just. There is no credentials because at the end of the day, there is no state agency in Maryland or the United States government that hands out. That hands out. There is nothing there is no agency, government agency that hands out press credentials. I can go to Staples right now and print out something that says press credentials, but I think that's silly because our press. Let me finish. Let me finish, please. Because press credentials, that would kind of be invalidating the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. We have the freedom of press. You do too, Trooper. We all have freedom of press. I'm just news gathering for my company, and that's it. My company is I cannot divulge that information because it might compromise my story, Trooper.
Okay. So again, you're stating that you're outside recording the entrance of the NVA for purposes in relation to a story, but you can't disclose who.
Correct. Just like if you were conducting an investigation.
I'm trying to make sure I got
okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
You can't disclose who you work for.
Yep.
You cannot disclose the context of the story. Correct.
Correct.
You cannot tell me anything in relation to where it's going to be posted or anything like that. Correct.
Correct.
So my question at this point, reasonably speaking, how would I be able to take your word? Because
why wouldn't you be able to?
So with that being said, people have malicious reasons on why they tell people fabricated stories. It happens all day, every day. I'm not saying that you are doing it, but at the same time, I don't know. So I'm being put into a situation where at this point
you can't confirm.
Exactly.
Okay.
See what I'm saying here? So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep anybody from getting in trouble.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to make it okay, cool. If you're here and you're trying to document a story because you have something that you're trying to go ahead and report on, cool, fine, dandy. Easiest way for me to be able to be like, hey, look, this is what he's doing, this is why he's outside. And then at that point, nobody has to have any raised awareness or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can easily take care of that for you. But with you not giving me that information, I can't do that for you. See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, what I want you to understand is that your authority as a Maryland State Trooper gives you like a tool belt, like the one you're wearing, right? You have a tool belt. You have certain authorities that you can exert. One, demanding ID or even forcing me to give you my ID is not one of them. So. And not believing me, is, I can't help you if you think I'm a liar. I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying if you think that I'm a liar, I can't help you. Yeah, sure.
I'm not cutting you off.
Sure. You are cutting me off.
People who come to work for the federal government, if you're a cabinet official, you have to go through these big hearings. A lot of people have to go through background checks. A lot of people have to go through security checks. They get security clearance. What kind of background checks or transparency into the background of Mr. Musk or the people that are working for him has been done? Do you know, Mr. DeBlas?
I don't know the background checks. I know President Trump had an electoral mandate to create those.
No, I understand that. But he has his electoral mandate to hire cabinet officials, but they have to go through hearings and things like that. Mr. Sepp, do you know how these people were vetted?
No.
Mr. Ladwood, do you know how they were vetted?
No.
Ms. Kochelicek, do you know how they were vetted?
We have not looked at these specific individuals.
Ms. Olson, do you know how they were vetted?
No.
What kind of access does Mr. Musk and his team have? What kind of changes have they been making to the computer programs? How many of those changes to computer programs are permanent? And how will that affect people going forward? Mr. Dubois, what's he doing?
I don't know what he's doing.
You don't know.
I
Okay,
think he's
Mr.
looking
Sepp, do you
at.
know what he's doing?
No.
Mr. Ladd, do you know what he's doing?
It would be inappropriate of me for comment on
Ms.
that.
Kochlichek, do you know what he's doing?
We have not looked at that.
Ms. Olson?
No.
Does anybody here know what they're doing? Does anybody know what kind of keystrokes changes they're making and they're permanent? Does anybody know what their backgrounds are? Does anybody know what they're doing with the information that they have and how they're using it? I agree with my colleagues who noted before that Mr. Littlejohn, who disclosed this information, is a criminal and deserves to be in jail, and I'm happy that he's been prosecuted. And anybody who has violated 6103, that takes private data and shares it with other people, should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We in Congress have an obligation as an equal branch of government to monitor what's going on right now. We're all for finding cost efficiencies. I know Mr. Bean, for example, has the DOGE committee. That's a great thing for us to look for efficiencies, to root out waste, fraud, and abuse.
Yeah.
But there's a thing, pesky thing, called the United States Constitution.
That's it for today's video. I will catch you guys on the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's Skills Reacts. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys want more content like this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.